I have one goal, and it's to get my wife Carrie to eat an oyster. So I'm gonna go out, catch some oysters, chuck them, and hopefully come up with a recipe that she's gonna like. Let's get started. All right, so step one of getting oysters for my wife, of course, means going out and catching them. I guess I could buy them too. So I'm on the boat right now, so hopefully it starts. Oh, it's been sitting a little bit. Started right up, right here. And they got little ends to them. And we're gonna reach down and pick up single oysters. That's the plan right now. That's it. That's all we're gonna do. Now, a little more details on the device I'm going to be using to pick up oysters off the bottom. They're called nippers. They're a version of oyster tongs that have basically like rake heads attached to those handles, and you just go around and look for oysters on the bottom, and you go ahead and just pick them up with that rake. Now, in theory, that sounds really easy, but if you're looking right now, I pulled around trying to find the oysters that I've seen on low tide around the different spots near my house, and I just could not find them. I looked everywhere. It was getting super frustrating, and honestly, I didn't think I was going to get any oysters. I picked up rocks. I saw other stuff that I thought were oysters, like this stuff right here. I was really excited, but guess what? When I poked it with a stick, I realized it just was pine cones. I was starting to get worried that I wasn't going to be able to do this video, or I was going to have to go out and buy oysters for this video, but then I came to another spot and finally found my first oyster.
I think I found our first one. After these waves go through.
But after getting in the boat, I unfortunately realized it just was an empty oyster shell.
That might be an oyster. Now, of course, I didn't get it on camera because I was on the other side of the boat, but you heard me talking. I did find one. So look, here's the one oyster. 3 inches, baby. So there's one oyster Carrie's gonna eat. That's a possibility. And we got another one. So we got this one, that's 1, 2, and then we got 1 jumbo. Look at this one, way bigger than the oyster hammer. I got 1 baby too. See how it's too small there? Let's take these 3 back because I think I'm done after this. It's not worth all the work.
And now with step 1 done, I'm moving on to step 2, but there's a catch. I'm gluten-free and so is Carrie, and she also has alpha-gal, so that makes finding a recipe really hard. It's got to be dairy-free and it's got to be gluten-free, so I decided to modify this version of Oyster Bienville for our own dietary needs. Now first, of course, you want to go ahead and scrub these oysters. Since I just picked them up off the bottom, they're going to have all types of stuff all over them. I recommend getting some cold water, rinsing them, and scrubbing with the scrub brush until the shells are nice and clean. Now the Oyster Bienville recipe seems pretty simple. It basically is taking a whole bunch of different vegetables, including celery, onion, garlic, and of course some red pepper too, and mincing them up. Now I'm not going to use a knife to mince them. I got this little like lawnmower mixer kind of thing that does a really great job of breaking everything up for me, and it just saves on the chopping. Next you're going to use 2 tablespoons of butter, melt it down, and then go ahead and put your vegetables in there. Now like I said before, I use non-dairy butter, and also this is gluten-free flour that I'm using, about a tablespoon of that, and then deglaze the pan with a little bit of white wine and keep stirring. After that you're going to add your cream in. This is coconut cream, so again keeping it dairy-free, and you want it to be a little bit more of a paste like that. Once you got that all set up, you're going to go ahead and shuck your oysters and get them ready to put in the oven. Put that tin foil down so it can hold those oysters so the stuff you're putting in there doesn't spill out. I put a good amount in there, topped it off with some JO seasoning. You could use Old Bay or something else, and then topped it with some breadcrumbs. These are kind of like panko breadcrumbs, which I then topped with more Old Bay and into a 425-degree oven. It took about, I don't know, 10 to 15 minutes, and they started looking bubbly and delicious like that. I took them out to Carrie to try, and here are the results.
Do I just eat this whole thing at once? It's actually good.
Looks like she liked this one. What should I make next?
That's good.
That's good. That is good.